Why is it that every time a woman has an opinion or speaks, okay, we're considered to be ignorant, wicked, worldly, Jezebel spirited, feminist, maybe even Christian, a Christian feminist, liberal, progressive, all those names thrown at us if we have an opinion. And mostly I want to say this to the Hebrew community. There's a misogynist spirit that flows through the community, okay? There's many of us that know we are Israelites, okay? But we don't want to be boxed up with those who we feel are off track and radical, okay? I have a husband and I'm married. And this is for IAMFITPodcast, okay? Because you threw it out as if like I'm just a worldly woman. Oh, and a cute reference. That was disrespectful. Let me say that. That was offensive and disrespectful. Not only to me, but also to my husband. In a reference where you saying, oh, you cute, and you think you can get away with stuff, as if I'm using looks or anything to speak on whatever. And it was a simple comment that I made. But it's just how you say anything as a woman, and automatically you're deemed as you don't know what you're talking about. We need to shut up and be quiet. We're trying to teach someone. And then I can't even remember the video that I actually commented on, but it was another sister in the comments that a so-called brother he called himself quote unquote. Now he an Israelite. He claimed to be in the truth. Why are you being disrespectful to a woman that's supposed to be your sister in Christ? That's the problem I have with the Israelite community. It's not all of us that are like that, but it's a whole lot of us. And then they always want to throw up, well, how long you been in the truth? Let me tell you something. The so-called truth found me at 15 years old. I'm 42. I have no shame in saying how old I am. So that lets you know I'm not new to this. I've been in this, okay? And as far as me being, am I single? Would it make it any better if I was single? Because I'm not single. I am married, okay? Is my husband a weak man? Oh, no, he is not. Anything that goes on that I say or that I do, my husband knows about it. I talk to him about it. I get how you say, it doesn't matter if you want to call permission or whatever. It's going to come across my husband's thought pattern so he knows about it. And then he can say what he needs to say about whatever else or what I need to do next. Respectfully, because that's my husband. But for some reason, that's the next thing everybody want to throw up. The men in our Israelite community. Are you single or are you married? Would it make a difference if I was single? For one, I'm not no worldly woman. I'm a righteous woman, okay? That's for one. And for two, in no way, in shape or form, do I ever use my looks for anything. And that's where I got offense from when Gabar, you can call him elder or not, okay? Because don't call me sister, but in the same aspect, you gonna disrespect me as if I'm just somebody on the street. That's why I don't take kindly or listen to all this, oh, you in the truth or not, because the truth of the matter is the ones that's in the truth, the ones that do you the worst, the ones who's not in the truth, okay, whether you're in a Christian church, I don't care where you at. There's always gonna be somebody in that same faith, okay, some people in that same faith that thinks or takes it upon themselves to disrespect when they shouldn't be disrespecting nobody. And the only reason why I'm addressing this like I am is because I was disrespected. In no way my comment was disrespectful, but just to go off on a handle and it's like, oh, they just all of a sudden women always want to come up with the Adam and Eve and all this different stuff. It was simple, okay? Helpmate or helpmate, however you want to put it. A helpmate, okay? I'm my husband's helpmate. I have to be smart. If my husband comes to me and he asks me a question, he wants to know something, or even if he delegates me to do something, I better have enough sense, okay, knowledge, wisdom, understanding to be able to do whatever it is my husband delegates me to do. That's a helpmate, okay? Not somebody that just, you could tell me whatever to do and I just do it senseless. I don't know where this comes from in a Hebrew Israelite community that women's supposed to be so dumb and don't have no mind of their own. And I'm not saying all of our men or all of our brothers in the community feel that way, but there's a whole lot of us that sit up here and downgrade our women, our sisters in the community. There was a brother so-called brother, going back and forth with a sister in the comments. Why? And every time when a sister, if she wants to say something, the first thing they say, well, you trying to teach your man. Not in no way. Not in no way. But I tell you what, if I speak, that's fine. If my husband speak, my husband ain't going to be doing all this conversation. Why? Because my husband ain't going to do all that talking. If you feel like you're disrespecting his wife, because he going to meet you on the same level he is. I would never meet a man on a different level because I'm not a man. But I'm going to speak up for myself. And behind that, I have my husband who's going to speak up for me, and he going to let you know. So if it's ever to a effect where you feel like you'll take the word better from a man point of view, that's all right. My husband don't do no talking like that. Because my husband, he goes straight to the point. He don't cut no grass like that. He just gonna let you know. That cute reference wasn't it. Did you talk to me or approach me or even say anything to me to make me feel like, because you could agree to disagree. That's what I don't understand. We all could agree to disagree. But I didn't get that from that video. I stayed about 30 minutes in. I said, whoa, the rest of this need to be watched. We sit down and my husband can give a response or whatever. He feel like he needs to do a response. And I'll sit right next with him and do a response to it so he could talk on a subject. But that was really uncalled for. That was really uncalled for. And that's where I'm talking about the misogynist spirit in the Hebrew Israelite community. That's why there's so many of us that know the truth, that we don't even want to be bothered and attached to no camps, these so-called churches or nothing like that, because of the way that people behave and they act. A lot of you are no better than these so-called Christian churches that y'all tear down. These so-called Christian churches. That's what we need to talk about. As a community, we need to be on one accord. You can't talk about how somebody else is doing something faith-wise, whatever, and we can't even be united in different camps and get along and stuff like that. We can't even agree on the name to call the Most High, nor Christ. We could all agree, say, okay, his name, we don't want to call him Jesus Christ. But you have so many of us that have different names, and we don't get, and we cannot get ourselves to be on the same level to worship together because it's so many of us using different names. But here it is, like I said, anytime a sister, and I said sister want to speak her mind, and that sister wasn't being disrespectful to nobody. Now, I don't think she was just being disrespectful. But when we want to pull up scriptures, we trying to teach a man. No, we're not. The thing about it, if we want to take ourselves out of what we are saying, and we want to go ahead and use scriptures to back up, not even back up, just to say what it is. We go into the scripture. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's why we study and show ourselves approved. And that sister was wrong. And I could tell why it was a misogynist spirit there, because when you start talking about that brother commenting, you know what I'm saying, in response to that sister, you give him hand claps. But for her and for me, oh, we worldly women, we wicked, we out here, I guess we doing whatever, Jezebels, we everything except the children of the Most High. That's what we are. And Every time you talk about, oh, well, and I'm not even going to throw out no scriptures because, brother, you know the scriptures, okay? And even we talk about different cultures here and there. Okay, they do that. But the fact of the matter is, God didn't pull multiple ribs out of Adam. He pulled one rib. That's why we always reference and say, a man say, that's my rib, because it goes right back to Adam. It was Adam and Eve. They populated, okay, the world. His help was Eve. That was his help. That's his helpmate. And they don't say helpmates, help. So anything out of that, and here's the thing, I could agree to disagree, and I could respect everybody how they feel like they want to live. Okay? If you feel like you're a man, you want to have multiple wives, that's your business. Okay? Why? I have my husband. My husband have me. My husband faithful to me. I'm faithful to my husband. The Most High put us together. I'm blessed and I love him. He loved me. That's what we deal with. If you a man, you feel like you need to have multiple wives, then that's between you and the Most High. It ain't got nothing to do with me. If that's how you feel. If your wife is okay with having multiple other women in that household to service her husband, that's your business. That's your business. You have to take it up. That ain't on me. But I'm going to go back to just the simple things to make it what it is. Yeah. We always say Adam and Eve. Why? Because those were the first. God made Adam, then he made Eve. She came from what? A rib. Now you show me, and y'all want to say, you show me multiple ribs that was taken out of Adam to make multiple wives to help him. You answer that question. But there's a misogynist spirit that goes around in this Israelite community, and there always have been. I respect those men that are in our community that respect their wives. Don't downgrade them. Don't do none of that. And you can respect the sister without disrespecting her. And to be honest, I took offense to what you were saying. And next time you have a show, invite me so I can speak on my behalf. And I will also have my husband there, because I'm not going to sit on no platform with no man in my head. My head ain't there to speak. See, that's how I'm going to tell you, that's how that roll. Because since you think I'm a worldly woman, I ain't no worldly woman. And whatever I do, my husband, he'll say, okay, it's authority to say, all right, that's okay. But my husband ain't going to allow me to speak to no man, and he's not here. He going to speak. That's who speaks for me. That's my head. But I just wanted to address this right here. So if I do, you want to call me on your platform, because I feel like that's fine. But again, my husband will be there to speak. Because in no shape or form, like I said, my husband don't do all that back and forth. He not. But you was out of order and out of place. And even before this, I started this video, I said, dang, I want my spirit to be in the right place so I could really, just address the situation in entirety, just look at it from the outside and also from the inside. Okay. And I think that's something that my comment was taken in a malice way to throw me in a box as to be a wicked woman. And then that's what I want to understand about the married and single. So it would have been better if I was single. Why make a reference to my beauty? I know I'm a beautiful woman, but my eyes, whatever I got going on, my beauty is for my husband. That's what my beauty is for. It ain't for no other man. I would never, as a woman, and I feel like for a man, you married, don't give no reference to how a woman looks. But you did it in a way to be like, oh, she's deceitful. Don't do that. Don't do that. And I honestly didn't even want to get on here to personally address, but I am personally addressing because I was personally thrown in there and personally was addressed in the manner that I was. And it was offensive. Now, we can have a whole conversation, maybe me and your wife, but with you and me, that would not. I would have my husband there. That was uncalled for. You offended me. You offended my head by those little comments that you made. I'm not no evil woman. I'm righteous. And I thank the Most High for that. So I'm going to end this on this note. And honestly, if the Spirit tells me, if God tells me it ain't meant for you to have no other type of dealings, response to, you know what I'm saying, me responding to this, then that's what it is. This will be the end of it for me. You know, it wouldn't matter how many shows you make, put my title in it, my name, whatever. Because whatever somebody do think they harming you, it'll be in my favor. Maybe that was in my favor. Because honestly, I never thought about I have a channel, but I never thought about making videos to post on my channel. That was just something, I just made the channel. But maybe this right here, that was the light that I needed. I don't know. But I will say a lot of women that's in the truth, we feel the same. And what is this the people got against GOCC or IUIC? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's like I really feel like sometimes it's a gang. That's why a lot of us step away from claiming to be part of this or being part of that. Because it feels like a gang, like you're boxed in. Oh, you part of GOCC. That's what the man was, the so-called brother. I'm going to say so-called because he shouldn't attack that sister like that. That wasn't in no type of love at all. Oh, you part of GOCC. And what if she is? What if she was part of a different, so what if she was? Does that mean you should be able to attack her? When you start calling, and the sister didn't attack him. Now, from what was read out the comments, but he went full ahead, and it's the truth. When people start attacking other people, it's because you feel like a rock hit you, and you got to come back and lash out, and you got to attack. I didn't get that. And I felt like that was just totally wrong. And as brothers, brothers need to do better. We just need to do better in the Israelite community, period. We do. We do. We do too much of against each other and not enough to being together. We're not. Within the community, you have men going against women. Outside the community, you have this Israelite sect going against that Israelite sect. And to be honest with you, if you read in history, have we always been like this? Yeah. Matter of fact, I could look at all the men in all the men in the Bible that have had multiple wives. Okay? Where a lot of bad things came out of having multiple wives or dealing with multiple women. And you know the men, and I ain't gonna pull in the scripture, you can pull that up for yourself because you know it. And you can go to scriptures that tell you the order of how men, if you're a man of God and you're a leader, the requirements for you, what they should be. You know that too. So anytime, and that's why you gotta be very careful, these men that say they want multiple wives, what's your purpose and reason for it? You got to be careful because you could be dealing with lust. And then, furthermore, when I say satisfy, because that was one part in my comment too, satisfy. A husband and wife should be able to satisfy each other. And I don't see anything wrong with saying that. That's part of marriage. I am supposed to satisfy my husband. I sure am. But at the same time, when it comes down to my husband satisfying me, okay, it's a give and a give. I'm not going to say a give and a take because we both supposed to give to each other. We give to each other. I don't like the give and take. We give to each other. So if I'm satisfying my husband is satisfying me, we're both going to be happy. That's a marriage. That's a marriage. And I understand women are complex. So when I say it's hard for one man to satisfy one woman, that is the truth. You can look around in marriages and just know that. So satisfaction goes both ways. In no way Would any woman want to be in a relationship and she's not happy, and vice versa for a man? But this misogynist views that we have in the Israelite community is that women not supposed to have no thoughts. You supposed to be nothing, say nothing. You only there for that man, that pleasure, whatever. You don't have a mind. You don't have a mouth. You just there. And in that type of thought, I've saw so many women abused. Okay? Abused in this faith. I ain't even gonna say faith because this ain't no faith. In this, okay, in the Hebrew Israelite community, I have. Like I told you, from 15, I'm 42, okay? And a long time ago, probably in my 20s, I stopped all that. I saw so much stuff, it was just disgusting. And all of you who've been in the Hebrew Israelite community, you know I'm telling the truth. Those who have been in it for the long haul, you know there's always been some disrespectful stuff. Women mistreated, disrespected. Okay? And that was a norm. That was a norm. We had so many brothers in the community that was messing around all these different women. It was horrible. Messing around with other people, other, you know what I'm saying, women shouldn't have been with. Come on, man. Come on. Let's stop this. That's why I said I ain't new to this. I know the past. And you want to know, I know the past. And there is a misogynist spirit that's roaming around in our community. It sure is. We got to stop that. Stop disrespecting us women. I don't think that sister said nothing disrespectful, and I didn't say anything disrespectful either, to be honest. I really didn't. I just said a simple statement. And probably if I would put some scriptures up there, somebody probably hopped up on there and said, a man. Oh, you trying to teach? I'm not trying to teach nobody. Not in no way. I'm not trying to teach nobody, but I do have a mouth. God has blessed me with that. I'm able to speak. There have been a lot of great women, and still a lot of great women that are in the Israelite community. We help build. We help you men. Okay? We help you men. That's where you're right. We are helpmen, and we help you men. In no way should we be disrespected as if we are nobody. We are not here for lustful pleasures. At all. Not at all. And pretty much some of this probably just went off in a rant because things that I'm just trying to cover it all. Things just keep coming to mind. But that's what I'm tired of when it comes down to things. We make comments, and as you brothers in the Israelite community, and it's not all of you, because I met some very loving, respectful brothers in our community. When you see them with their wife, oh my Lord, you see the love. His wife ain't in no back seat. She like right there. She looked to him for him, you know what I'm saying, guidance, because that's what we do as women. We look to our husbands and guidance. That's beautiful. But for the rest of our brothers in the community, you guys need to get it right. You really do. You're going off your own desires. You're going off your own lusts. You're going off of that. I don't care how many different cultures are doing it with these multiple wives. Sit down and talk to these wives and see how they feel, or are they treated right. Some may, and some may not be. And that's our problem. By me speaking up, I don't know how many women may hear this that's in the Israelite community or probably got out of the Israelite community, and they'll say to themselves, you know what? That sister was right. I had some horrible stories, okay? And that sister is right. The ones of us that came from the 90s, okay? I'm talking about the very beginning. You know what I'm talking about. Came from the very beginning. You know we had to deal with some upright, downright, wicked and spirited brothers in the Israelite community. Wicked as hell. And I'm not teaching, I'm telling the truth. And then you sit up here with this same spirit. You may be a little more milder. It's talking about, oh, you shouldn't be able to speak. Heck, back in the 90s and the 2000s, were we able to speak? You act like the women in the Israelite community was ever able to say something to y'all. Y'all had y'all foot on our neck so daggone hard. A lot of us wouldn't even go out and look at no other men. You couldn't even look a man in the eyes. You better not. And you know I'm telling the truth. So I'm trying to figure out, whenever in the Israelite community have we ever had it, I'm saying women, that we were able to speak and say anything without being condemned. I think that now, over the times, we realize what we did wrong. And more, you know what I'm saying, the Most High poured into us more knowledge and more wisdom, more understanding, that we were able to change up a lot of ways that we was dealing back and forth with each other. And I say this to say this. I do see improvements. Okay? At the same time, we still have a long way to go. There's still separation. We still have a long way to go. So I didn't understand it. Women, you know, back in the day, come on. Now, you know daggone well in the beginning, when it came out, what women had a mouth or a say-so about anything that happened in the Israelite community. Our brothers have dealt with multiple women, and they weren't doing what they're supposed to do as a husband. A lot of them weren't. A lot of them women was being disrespected, abused, and all that, and couldn't say a word or nothing to nobody because it was made a norm. Those of you just new to the truth, y'all getting it's a little easy, mild temperament to what you may experience now. Because a lot of the brothers that they learned from back then, they've changed. A lot of them have corrected themselves and changed. You know, they have. But a lot of them, I'm telling you, destroyed. A lot of our sisters were destroyed. Destroyed from this misogynist spirit. A lot of our sisters were treated as all you were there for was for the pleasure of your husband. That meant sexually, you better not say nothing. Don't say nothing. You stay in the house. You do what I say. You ain't. It was on some, not a helpmate, but you was how they say, a yes man. That's what you was. I just want whatever you like. That's how it was. Whatever that man said, that's what it was. She better not say nothing else. You better not. That foot was kept on that neck of that woman. For those who actually stayed, okay, in the truth, okay, bless you. Because we came from a long way. From a long way. Believe me, a long way. We've been through a whole lot. But one thing I will not do, I don't disrespect no one. And if I ever do, I'm going to apologize. If I disrespect anybody, offend anybody, the right thing for me to do is to apologize. But I would not take no disrespect for no woman nor a man. And especially if you call me sister, you put sister on that title of mine, then I'm going to hold you even more to it. Because if I'm your sister, you should come to me in love. Not in no hate, not in no disrespect. Not at all. Not at all. Because you trying to figure out I'm a Christian from... Oh my goodness. Come on now. Even if I was. So what? Does that mean you should disrespect me? Then to go on talking about the women... That's what got me. Oh, you women now in the Israelite community. You tell me when have there... Now you have a lot of us who are speaking out. And we have husbands that respect us to let us be able to say and talk. And speak on certain things. But back then, women in the Israelite community... Somebody that been in this truth since the 90s, and you let me know. You tell me if I'm telling the truth or if I'm lying. And I know I'm telling the truth. You talking about a foot on your neck? You was practically invisible. You was practically invisible in the Israelite community as a woman in the 90s and the 2000s. And when I tell you I'm not lying, it's going to be a whole bunch of women, even men, they could attest to this. Brothers that's in the Israelite community that been in there since the 90s and 2000s. You know there was some wrong being done. And I'm going to tell you, I come from, born and raised, Bridgeport, Connecticut. So we had a lot of brothers coming from New York and stuff like that, coming to Connecticut, doing all, setting up camp or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Spreading the truth. Wicked. That's why I understand my place, but you're not going to belittle me or treat me like a child, because that ain't going to happen. You're not going to disrespect me, because that ain't going to happen. And I don't take that from no man. That right there, my experience dealing with the so-called people in the truth, that's why I stand firm on what I say, how I speak. And that's what I'm saying. I could agree to disagree. If that's what you want to choose to do, or any other man, if that's what you choose to do, the wife you are with, if she agreed to that lifestyle, that's your business. But you know daggone well you can't pull up no scripture that says a man can have multiple wives. But I could pull up scriptures, scriptures that talks about a man and one wife. All that in between, that's because a man decided, this is what I want to do. I want to take on more than one wife. You pull up a law. That's what I'm saying. Give me a law. Give me a law that say a man can have more than one wife. That's all I want to know. And I'll listen. But you're not going to attack me. Speak to me in love. If anything, speak to me in love. That's all. Speak to me in love. Especially you put a sister on it. Speak to me in love. But this is why one of the reasons my husband to tell you straight up. That's why he don't deal too much. He don't deal with people, church people, because that self-righteous spirit. He don't deal too much with nobody that so-called got their noses in the book and want to always make themselves self-righteous. He ain't dealing with that. My husband don't deal with that. That's why he cautious about certain things. I don't enter in nobody's church, do anything like that, unless my husband is there. He said, okay, that's fine. Authority. He gives the authority. He says, all right, yeah, all right. And that's what got me. But I mean, I could keep going on and on and on about this, but that's what got me. I felt offended. My husband felt offended. It was like he like, nah. He said, see, that's why. He said that's what I be talking about. These so-called people in the so-called truth, so-called these people that so-called. It don't matter if you Christian, whatever. You attack people. You make assumptions. You attack people. You can always agree to disagree. You don't have to be disrespectful with it. And that's all I gotta say.